Libertarian Party cannot endorse a candidate outside of our own party, and neither can its officers. But with that said, I am very excited about the Ron Paul campaign, aren't you? Yeah. Ron Paul and his supporters have done a great job building on the foundation the Libertarian movement has labored decades to establish. Not only Ron Paul, but all the work of his supporters, like you, to spread his message of peace, prosperity, and hope for America. Thank you for all your hard work. The Ron Paul revolution is not just about electing Ron Paul president. He is sparking in the hearts of Americans a yearning for a restoration of our lost freedoms and liberties. Politicians and special interests have concentrated too much power in Washington, D.C. and in our state capital in Jefferson City. The power to tax, the power to spend, the power to regulate, and the power to police. All this power is then used to reward their friends, punish their enemies, impose their social agendas on others, and advance their own political careers and business interests. I see the Ron Paul revolution as a rejection of big government and the accumulation of power in so few hands. It represents the desire of a growing number of Americans to strip government of this power over their daily lives and restore their individual liberties. Here are some examples of how government is abusing its power. You may have heard of some of these. Last fall in Moberly, Missouri, a mother took 2 of her children out of the government middle school to homeschool them. She did this after spending a year trying to get school officials to do something about the frequent bullying and harassment her children were subject to by other students. School officials then filed a complaint of educational neglect with the Department of Family Services, forcing the mother and her family to go through an intrusive investigation of their lives when the school was the one responsible for neglecting her children. In 2006, the BATF, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, and the FBI performed a military-style raid of KT Ordnance in Montana. KT Ordnance sells 80% complete firearm kits, which don't require any government paperwork. They confiscated his inventory and his records. Later, they sold his inventory. The owner was never arrested or charged with any crime. Last fall, the IRS and Treasury Department raided the Liberty Dollar of Indiana. Some of you may be familiar with that. They created the Ron Paul Silver Dollar. They confiscated all their precious metals, their records, and froze their bank accounts. They have yet to file any criminal charges. I hope this wakes you up to what's going on in this country if you haven't been woken up yet tonight. In California, the Drug Enforcement Agency routinely raids medical marijuana distribution centers, which are legal under California law. The DEA confiscates their inventory and their money. Rarely do they make any arrests or file any charges. Are you seeing a pattern here? The last 3 are examples of asset forfeitures, where property is considered guilty of a crime and the property owner has to prove his property is innocent in order to get it back, which rarely happens. This tactic was developed by government to go after drug dealers. Now is being used to go after firearms and the Liberty Dollar. In order to protect and defend the freedom, natural rights, and individual liberties you cherish, you must allow others to do the same as long as they cause no direct harm to others, even if you don't agree with the choices they might make in their lives. Freedom is a two-way street. Though Ron Paul has been elected to Congress 10 times as a Republican and is now running for the Republican Party presidential nomination, he has deep roots in the Libertarian movement. Ron Paul was a Libertarian Party presidential candidate in 1988 and is a lifetime member of the party. I first had an opportunity to hear Dr. Paul speak during a luncheon at the 2002 National Libertarian Party Convention. Later, last February, I heard him speak at the New Hampshire Liberty Forum during his first campaign swing through that early primary state. It has been reported that over 75% of Libertarians support Ron Paul, and many are active in his campaign, and I see some of them here in this room tonight. If you agree with Ron Paul to end the IRS and replace it with nothing, you just might be a Libertarian. To cut government spending by 50%, to eliminate major federal departments